So good afternoon, everybody. Thank you to Tatiana and Dennis for this invitation. And this is an excellent initiative. These are very trying times, and every organization needs to look at the changing environment within which we operate. Let me give you some background. I am committed to entrepreneurship. My background has been, I spent about 18 years in international programs all over the world. So I believe passionately in the importance of faculty interacting directly with students. E-learning is not just a crisis situation. Advenio eAcademy was Malta's first higher educational institute, which was licensed to provide certified online educational programs. E-learning has been here for some years. One needs to be very careful in defining e-learning. Today, any organization with a website and a Skype account will say it offers e-learning. There are different approaches. We have basic VLE, virtual learning environments. At the other end, we have full e-learning platforms which provide virtual campus. There's a big difference in between. I'd like to walk you through the expectations. Let's be clear. One of the elements that has changed the dynamics has been MOOCs. MOOCs, these are these massive open online courses. These are offered free by many institutions, and they vary in quality. Typically, these are free. However, it set a benchmark. If a student is now being asked to pay for an online program, they expect it to be better than what they can get for free through a MOOC. So the benchmark must be raised. To many established institutions, the MOOC seems to have replaced competition. It's there, it's available for free. What can we do? There are some very good courses offered online. So if we are going to offer quality to students, it has to be better than what is available through a MOOC. In other words, we need more interactivity. Students need to interact with faculty, and online learning needs to deliver this interactivity. So, is online learning a closed shop? What's the opportunity for small enterprises? I will argue that e-learning has opened the door to the smaller educational institutions. This current COVID crisis has introduced a new dynamic. People have seen how we don't have to be all in the same room. The old dynamic of bringing students to a classroom all the way from the time of the Egyptians. Today, technology doesn't need that. E-learning is here to stay. But of course, it means we have to change some of the structures and, most importantly, the mindset of educators in the design and delivery of the programs. So what are we talking here? The challenge is that we have to look at students as our paying customers. These need and demand quality. Typically, in the traditional environment, the focus, bringing everybody into the classroom, was a very cost-effective way of utilizing the organization's resources. The tutor was in one place and all the students were brought over. But of course, with improved technology and higher expectations of students, we need to add more value. Today, many HEIs offer their own online courses. We have many open source software platforms that are available, and getting on board is not that difficult. One has to be careful to identify what the cost is going to be, because very often it could be an open check. One needs to look at the importance of customizing the platform to the type of program you are offering. The previous speaker spoke about the interactivity, and I cannot highlight that enough. That is the key to making e-learning effective. People's expectations are high. It is not a case of taking a 3-hour lecture from a lecture room and putting it online via a platform. It is separating those elements that can be recorded in advance so that the concept is explained, the theory is outlined, separating that from the discussion and debate. And in the online discussion and debate sessions, it is about ensuring that students participate. It is this higher level of participation that adds value to the participants on the program. There are different routes to doing this. Some of the HEIs go their own in-house route. They develop the whole thing themselves, get their IT people to do it, and I call this the ITification of the project. It becomes more about what servers to get, what hardware, what systems, and then there is little budget left for the content development and digitization, which is the most important part to the student. It's about making sure that the challenge is for even large established organizations that have the infrastructure to make sure that you're able to manage the costs of running the program. E-learning is not a cheaper solution to the traditional approach. E-learning involves more tutor involvement. In a classroom, you have one message going to 30 students. Online, you have 30 students sending emails that need to be responded to. So the back end needs to change. It's about teamwork. More importantly, this is the challenge, to change the mindset. So the sustainability of the program has to be looked at very carefully. Typically, today, we find many studies that look at the importance of combining e-learning face-to-face, and post-COVID, I believe that will be the model that will stay. Maybe I may not agree with Luca's 80-20, because I think in many situations it will be the other way around. 80% will be online and 20% will be actually on-site, because this coronavirus has shown that if the need is there, we can deliver using the technology. Typically, what is an e-learning platform? What are the items you're after? Why not just use Skype or another channel and plug it into your website? Essentially, an e-learning platform must give you flexibility. Flexibility to design programs that combine self-learning elements and collaborative learning elements. The self-learning are typically your VLE operations. Students can work independently. There's pre-recorded videos, PowerPoints, reading lists, reference lists, FAQs, online self-assessment or examination facilities, and the upload. So those are all self-learning. A student can work at 2 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock in the evening. They can run independently. The collaborative learning involves this element of you being part of a program, live conferencing facilities. This is the importance of tutorials. Again, you need polling, you need recording of these sessions to facilitate access later on. Forum sessions, very important learning tool. Forum sessions allow us to teach the concept of debate, where students have to analyze what their colleagues are saying, put them together, and then put together their contribution. Wiki sections, again, very useful for topic exploration, sharing of information. Webinars such as this allow us to reach wider audiences. Calendaring facilities, file repositories. Any program would need to have a combination of these elements, depending on the particular program design. Again, in my experience, and I speak with some vested interest because I am a founder, director of a software company which delivered and developed an e-learning platform. Software as a service is a solution for many organizations because it allows them to focus their resources on the development of the content, whilst the whole e-learning platform is run by the IT team that is entrusted with it. E-learning provides a transparency. And one of the problems with making the transition from traditional learning situations to e-learning is that the educators have to get used to broader transparency. In the traditional approach, the tutor is the king in the classroom. In the online environment, the tutor is the frontline person of the team. And that delivery is transparent, so people know exactly what is being said. The approach is different. The expectations of participants is different. So we need to flip the dynamics of a learning process. The homework is done in class and the classwork is done at home. So the interactive parts are what need to be done in the live interactive sessions. The transfer of information, that can be done with pre-recorded sessions and documentation. Students can do that independently on their own. We need to flip the dynamics. The role of the trainer, lecturer in the flipped classroom is more dynamic. It is not about delivering a message, it's about instigating questions. It's about creating debate. This is the essence of learning, questioning and understanding, not learning and regurgitating notes that are handed out. E-learning is a very powerful platform for us educators to do that. I'm pleased to say that Advenio eAcademy was one of the pioneers in joint programs, and in 2018, we launched a master's, a level 7 program, 90 ECTS. So this is a fully accredited online master's degree in entrepreneurship. Our first graduates, we had the first graduation in November. In this cohort, we had another 5 universities with us. We have some universities that have significant experience already in online programs, and others, it was their first experience. This was an opportunity to transfer knowledge, to transfer skill sets. So we identified best practice. It was a challenge. We had to plan the curriculum together. We had to involve different teams, different approaches. And, we certainly used video conferencing services. We also had face-to-face meetings where everybody came down and we discussed things. But what was clear is it's about building the team. Who is designing, who is developing the content, who is producing, and most importantly, the implementation. Who is going to be there to monitor on a daily basis the posts by students on the forum, the email by students. Students expect prompt delivery, not an email which is replied 2 weeks later. It's next day response. So e-learning meets the needs of many adult learners. Today, they put a premium on their time and the money that is being put into the program. So e-learning is going to continue to evolve, I am sure. The expectations of students are going to continue to increase. The more we add value, the higher would students' expectations be. And this means we need to invest more in training the tutors how to use the technology. The technology of e-learning is not a problem to participants, especially the younger students who are so used to multitasking, multi-channels. It's not a problem for them. It's the tutor who often struggles to cope with the technology of delivering that program. And that's where the education institutions must step in. We must dedicate time and resources to the training of the team and to obviously sustain and develop the program. My experience using a customized e-learning platform is that you need to have this flexibility because different programs require different mixes of self-learning and collaborative learning tools. So a good e-learning platform provides and strengthens the ability of the organization to link internal faculty with adjunct faculty. Your faculty no longer needs to be on campus, but can be anywhere in the world, but has to be accessible. So if I had to close up, I would say that e-learning is not limited by boundaries, premises, campus, and neither by the competencies and capabilities of the individual. We all have different strengths and weaknesses. Some are very good in presenting, some are very good in designing the content. Well, let's make the most out of individual skill sets. The second point is it's about teams and collaboration. It's not about doing everything in-house. Today, with software as a solution platforms, you have a system that's ready, up and going. You just focus on the content development rather than having to build the whole engine completely. And the final point, look at international best practice. Today, we know more time. Is it obvious how much of a global village we are? And e-learning cuts across all those borders. As Luca said, the challenges of meeting different zones, of meeting different requirements. It is a challenge that educational institutions must stand up to. The students demand no less. Thank you.